Did you guys hear that? How do you like the kickback on that one? It's that 275 stuff right there. Oh, gotta love it. 275, 250 around. Actually, that's 4570. This is actually a Hornady. Those are only about 250 around. I do have the Winchesters though, which are 275 around. Ladies, if you haven't bought your husband a Christmas present yet, this is a great Christmas present. Just make sure he's not one of the 2 million people on the FBI's terror list, and he doesn't take any medications. Otherwise, great gift, especially if he likes Western shows. This thing will drop a bison like it's hitting a concrete wall. And if you want something that's expensive and pocket size, you got your $1.30 around, if you can find it in the store. You could actually get these 357 rounds online for about 70 cents a round. If you buy it in bulk, 60 cents a round. You know, I find it interesting, the 357 SIG, I used to be able to buy rounds for the 357 for about $15, $16 a box. Now it's up around $35, $47 a box, depending on, you know, the quality of the ammo. Even the cheap legal rounds for target practicing are about $30-something a box for 357. Again, if you can find it. I can't ever find 357 anymore. It used to be worth it to pay a little extra to have that high velocity round, but now I think it's actually cheaper to just go ahead and buy a 9mm so you can get access to, you know, 50-cent rounds, or where I guess if you buy it in bulk, you can get a little higher, a little lower. I feel like we've been through an ammo shortage for the past couple of years. For some of our guns, like the 410, you can't find that anywhere. And if you do, you're getting lucky, right? 410, 12 gauge, which you would think is a little more lethal. 12 gauge, you can find just about anywhere. 9mm, anywhere 308. The price of ammunition just keeps going up. I mean, it hasn't been that long since I remember buying ammo, a case of ammo for the 357 for about $20 a box, and then all of a sudden you go and you look for it, it's $35, $40 a box if you can find it. Now, I did a video recently where I was talking about kind of the shortages in the different types of ammo and how quickly it makes guns obsolete. Even with these 4570 government rounds, which are a pretty common round, you're lucky to find these in the store. Anyway, it seems like a lot of the ammo on the market has gone down. A lot of the availability has gone down. So if you have a lot of different guns in your arsenal, depending on what you have, most people have a 30 ALT6, most people have 9mm. Those guns are probably fine, but guns like a 410, which used to be a pretty popular little shotgun, guns like this 4570, the P239 or 357 SIG rounds, almost completely obsolete. It becomes harder and harder to find ammo for those guns, which makes them rather ineffective, right? You don't want to go out and target practice with something that you have to go and hunt down ammunition for. It just seems as though limiting the types of ammo that are on the market has made a lot of people's guns obsolete. Like, they can't use them. They're pretty, nice to hold. But even this one, when you're shooting off rounds that are 250, 275 a round, I mean, how much are you actually going to target practice with it? And if you're going to have a weapon, you should target practice with it. But now they're talking about more ammo shortages in 2024. If you are on the email distribution list for Vista Outdoors, the CEO, or actually the head salesman, basically came out and said, look, starting in January, all of our orders for ammunition are going up somewhere between 1% and 7% on rifle and shotgun rounds, and 1% to 5% on most pistol rounds. And if you buy gunpowder to reload your own, gunpowder is going up about 10%, and I think there's a 5% increase on caps. So basically, everything's going up. everything's going up starting January 1st. And if you had orders in that monthly orders, whatever it is, your orders would automatically go up. And a lot of this is blamed on a gunpowder shortage. We've got the war in Ukraine, which has been using up a lot of gunpowder. There's now the war in Gaza, which is using up a lot of gunpowder. The ATF is trying to arm 80,000 agents. That's a lot of gunpowder. There are a lot of factors going into 2024 that would lead to another ammo shortage, one that we've seen a lot of ammo shortages. The 2013, 2014 one wasn't that bad. I could still pick up a lot of ammo during that shortage for like a 357 SIG. It seems like the last several years since COVID, the types of ammo have gone way down, but there still seems to be an abundant supply of things like 9mm and stuff. Now, there's always those that are going to be stockpiling, and it feels like the crazier things get in the world, there are more and more gun owners, and there are more and more people stockpiling ammunition. You sell more guns, suddenly you need more ammunition to go with those guns. Otherwise, what are people going to be doing with the guns? They can't shoot them, they can't target practice, they can't do anything unless they have ammunition. So there's definitely, this trend that we've seen over the last several years where the crazier things get, the more authoritarian people get, the more threats they throw out there, the more guns are sold, the more ammunition is sold. And I think that there is some stockpiling involved in there. I mean, obviously, everybody that owns guns stockpiles some sort of amount of ammunition. We tend to just hold on to enough that we would need for hunting and stuff, although part of that is just because it's been getting increasingly difficult to find the ammunition that I'd like to have. But I'm curious of what you guys think. Is this just a stunt by Vista Outdoors to raise prices? I heard Biden say the other day that inflation was going down and therefore all the corporations should lower their prices. Of course, in my economics class, lowering prices usually coincided with deflation, and we're still facing about 3 to 4% inflation. And just because inflation slows, that doesn't actually mean that prices will go down. It just means that they'll stop going up as fast. Some things they say on Capitol Hill these days just don't make any logical sense to me. But it does seem as though there are a lot of different contributing factors to a gunpowder shortage. And there was also the gunpowder plant that caught on fire and is no longer in service, but that was from 2021. Since 2021, you've had war break out, and you've had 2 wars break out. So there is a lot of gunpowder usage, and who knows, maybe people are expecting the 4th of July to be popular again, so there'll be more fireworks. But gunpowder does seem to be in short supply, and it does seem to be pushing prices up. It often feels like the limitation on supplies, the limitation on availability of different types of ammo is a form in and of itself of gun control. And I'm wondering next year, as we get into the year, if this actually comes true. I mean, Vista Outdoors is communicating with its customers what's been communicated to them by their suppliers, that they would have to raise prices. And I actually don't think 1 to 7% is all that bad, considering that we've seen 3 to 4% inflation in costs over the last couple of years. But they're putting this warning out there saying that they're going to, starting in January, raise prices. My take on his warning is that January won't be the only time that they raise prices. They'll probably raise prices throughout 2024. If there is a black powder shortage, it would just make sense that they would continue to raise prices throughout 2024. So I'm curious on what you guys think. I'm also curious on where you guys usually go for your ammo. I'm one of those people who has always liked going to a retail store to purchase ammo, but it's becoming harder and harder to find the type of ammo that I'm looking for. But I also don't like the idea of ordering online and having it shipped to our house, because then, it just seems like there's more of a record tracking of how much ammo you're buying and where it's going. Whereas when you walk into a store, pay cash or whatever it is at the counter, it's not like there's this, record keeping going on that's saying this is how much ammo you've purchased in the last month or 2 months. If we get into a gunpowder shortage, there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be rationing. There's going to be rationing in the storefront. There's going to be rationing on the online front. And that rationing will, in some sort of way, prohibit the amount of ammo that you can buy. So I don't know a lot of the online retailers. I don't know which ones are the good ones and which ones, shouldn't be trusted, or where you get the best pricing on things, the best quality of ammo. Because like I said, I tend to be one of those people who's always walked into the store. Even though you pay a little more, I feel like there's just a little bit more security there. And it's just the way I've always done things. But you can't do that anymore. It's actually becoming nearly impossible to walk into the store and get half of the type of ammo that we would need. I actually did find some 410 today. It said it was available in store. So I'm going to head out there this afternoon and try and pick some up. But anyway, the last week or two, I've heard a lot of people talking about the potential ammo shortage in 2024. I've heard a lot of angry people talking about it, and kind of dipping around the circles. There are a lot of people who kind of think the whole thing is BS. There's not going to be a gunpowder shortage, that it's just to raise prices on the consumers, to justify raising prices. But there is also a lot of factors out there that would insinuate that we may be running into a gunpowder shortage. And if that's the case, is it wrong to stock up now? Is it wrong to want to get ahead of the game? And how high do you think that prices could go? And how many times do you think they'll raise prices throughout the course of 2024? And again, it also depends on how the polls are going, because this is an election year. And like I said, depending on who gets elected, whoever's ahead in the polls, they're good gun salesmen. They're good gun and ammo salesmen, because if anybody feels like their rights are threatened, they tend to go out and make the investment, make the purchase, and try and hoard things away while they still can. And that's a reasonable expectation. So tell me what you think about that. And I just wanted to point this out, because this is something that you can't get online. This is a buffalo leather gun case. It's absolutely beautiful. These are handmade down in Texas. The Buffalo Wool Company usually has these made, but I don't ever see them on their website. I know that every now and then they have them. You just have to kind of reach out to them and contact them. But what they do is they take the leather and I forget what they call this, but it's like a trimmed fur that they take down to a craftsman, local craftsman, and they produce these products, and they're absolutely amazing. I can't wait till I get a shotgun case made out of this material. But if you wanted to support a good American company that supports people like you and I, and also support the local craftsmen that they have that put these types of things together, you should definitely contact them and see when they're going to have more of these cases. They have them for shotguns, they have them for handguns, and I love mine. I absolutely love it. He didn't ask me to do that, but I like supporting good people. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, because I agree that there's usually a lot of hype, and there's a lot of money to be made when you can sell fear. But at the same time, there are a lot of circumstances that would be leading to gunpowder shortages. I mean, we only have like 4 or 5 gunpowder manufacturers here in the U.S. that I know of. And so, looking around the world and looking around some of the events that have been taking place, and who knows, how many agencies are stocking up on ammo for other reasons other than taxes, for example. I mean, we could be looking at global confrontations in the next several years if you put China into the picture and just take a good look at the global tensions out there. So that would put the military as one of the biggest buyers. I do think that the news that we're getting of a gunpowder shortage is probably real. I also believe that they're going to start hyping it now, seeing that it's coming, to get as many sales as they can and start pushing prices up, because if they can increase their margins now, they're going to survive it better. I also am not sure 100% how I feel about the whole concept of buying online, even though I know that you can get ammo cheaper. I feel like there's a reason why you can only find certain ammo online and you have to order it. There's just something safer, in my perspective, of being able to go into a retail store and actually make a purchase.